So I wanted to talk about quantum mechanics because I always talk about manifestation. I talk about the idea of how the past is really just an illusion of the same moment from a different perspective. What does that mean? Why does that exist? Why do people say that time doesn't exist? Why does people say focus on the now because the now is the only thing that exists? What does that mean? Why does manifestation work? Physically, how does it work? This is the study of quantum mechanics on a more spiritual level, but it explains why these theories actually work and why manifestation and the idea of positive energy is more than just some hippy-dippy bullshit. So, first off, I would like to say a quote by a founder of quantum theory, and his name is Richard Feynman, and he says, "I think I can safely say that nobody understands quantum theory." So it's very complicated, and I'm not gonna pretend like I know it at all. But I have some basic understanding, which might clear up some type of confusion somebody has on how it actually relates to the world, the science world, physics. So it is the study of subatomic movement through electromagnetic energy, basically. So what the fuck is that, right? So subatomic means particles. The particles that exist, that move around us. You are made up of billions and billions of particles, atoms, electrons, neutrons, protons. Those are all particles that make you up, that make up this couch, that make up these things, that make up the space in between us. There's no such thing as empty space. It's always filled with particles. So quantum theory was the study of these particles and how they really operate. And what they found, which was really shocking even to this day, is that matter particles, you, me, the freaking couch, the particles of this couch operate like light waves. They're moving, they're not solid. And it was mind-boggling to so many physicists who had been growing up on the idea of Newton's laws of physics and other electromagnetic theories that discussed the idea that you are able to understand how something operates based on its accurate location. But when you are at the understanding that a particle does not have a specific location because it is constantly moving like a light wave, you're like, holy shit, okay? So one of the paradoxes of quantum mechanics is the more accurate that you're actually able to determine the position of a particle, the more mysterious, ominous, and further away you get from understanding its momentum, its movement. So this basically expresses the idea that you can never determine where a particle is, because if it acts like a light frequency, it pretty much exists in a plethora of locations at the same time. So with this understanding, what they use in quantum mechanics is an equation with a variable that pretty much is used as a way to understand and have a plethora of possibilities of which the particle could be positioned, of the movement of the particle. They're pretty much just use possibilities until the measurement is actually made. And that being said, that expresses the idea that until the measurement is actually made, the particle exists everywhere simultaneously. Schoenberg, I think that's his name, is the guy who kind of created this idea. And with that, he has the idea of a cat in a box theory. And with this, it's the idea of putting a cat in a closed box, and emitting these beta emissions of this radioactive gas that's lethal, which gives the cat a 50-50 chance of being dead or alive. Until that box is opened, the cat is both dead and alive. So the idea is, until the particle is seriously, accurately measured, we don't know where it is, saying that everything exists everywhere at the same time. So if everything exists everywhere at the same time, there is really no such thing as a specific time or a specific place. How does this relate to technology? Well, the original idea with Newton's laws of physics and other basic laws of physics was you'd have point A and you'd have point B on a graph, and you'd find the path of least resistance of how to get to point A to point B. That was this. Now, with quantum theory, we're able to understand that we can move faster than the speed of light because you don't need to get from point A to point B if point A and point B exist everywhere simultaneously. So, how does this relate to manifestation? How does this relate to parallel realities? How does this relate to the past, to the future? Well, we hold on to these things and these ideas that we've seen in our past, and we say, this is who I am. But really, who you are is right now, and you've never previously existed except now. You can only ever exist now. And if you exist everywhere now, then that means the possibility of who you think you can be exists already. Everything exists already everywhere. So the idea is tuning your vibration to that. And the past does not really exist. It only exists if you put it into existence in the now. You can completely recreate everything about yourself with the idea of quantum mechanics. Did that make any sense? I don't fucking know.